I genuinely believe that Baldur's Gate 3 will be one of the greatest RPGs of all time, and I have several reasons to believe that. And of course, this all comes down to my and your personal preferences. But it's no secret that some games just massively stand out above others in the same genre. For example, no matter your opinion about Skyrim, you can't deny it had a huge success and is loved by many fans. So in this video, I'm going to give my reasons why I think Baldur's Gate 3 will be a landmark for RPGs for a long time. And if you want to see more Baldur's Gate 3 videos and follow all its news, don't forget to subscribe. So the first reason on my list is the huge success of Larian Studios' previous title, Divinity Original Sin 2. Personally, it's already one of my favorite RPGs of all time, and it's massively loved by critics and fans alike. And in terms of score and awards, it is ranked the #1 best PC game of 2017 and even got the Game of the Year title by PC Gamer. But we're not here to talk about that game and why it's so good, because I will do that for Baldur's Gate 3 instead. But this shows that Larian Studios can deliver a very good game. DOS 2 is an older title, and while it's so good, Baldur's Gate 3 is way bigger. It's got a much bigger budget, more people working on the game, and even got great technology behind it like motion capture for the animations. Like, this game is huge and it takes a lot of effort to complete. But bigger isn't necessarily always better, but I believe in this case it will. Larian Studios said several times it's only coming when it's done. And in some interviews, the director Sven Vinke even said he massively understated the amount of work this game takes. But he has a vision, and he doesn't want to scrap anything from exactly that dream. And that just means they need more work and manpower to finish the project how they want it to be. And it's not only Sven, because the whole team behind Larian Studios is working so hard to deliver the best game it can be. I mean, the first act of Early Access is already huge. And with the new zone added in patch 6, it will take over 30 hours to totally complete it. If you don't speedrun the game, that is. But the full game will have multiple acts just like DOS 2, and you can bet it will be around or over 100 hours long to complete everything at a natural pace. And the funny thing is, you even then haven't seen all the possibilities. Even in the early access, my experience can be way different than yours. Like, let's take the Druid Grove versus the Goblin Camp as an example. Based on with who you side, the result is totally different, and the game and its choices path out in multiple ways. But you only get to see one of them from the choice you made. But all the options need to be fully created. And don't forget, all these options have writing, animations, motion captures, voice acting, combat encounters and whatnot behind them. And the thing is, it's not only 2 options. Because you can, for example, walk back to the Druid Grove to convince them you're not working with the goblins, only to betray them in the end when the goblins arrive. That's another scenario they have to fully develop. But what if you do side with the druids when the goblins arrive? Then you betray the female drow called Mintara from the goblin camp, and that's another scenario. I don't think I have to give more examples to show how large this project is. But why all this massive work for multiple branches? That brings me to my next point, player agency. And I've talked about it in multiple videos how Larian Studios focus on player agency and why I love it so much. And I won't show it fully here in this video because I've talked about it multiple times already. But I showed it in this video. Basically, to sum it up, Larian Studios keep things in the game if players having fun with it. Even bugs, because then it just becomes a feature. And that brings me to another example I talk a lot about, and that is player feedback. Because they really listen to community feedback from the early access state of Baldur's Gate 3, and they have made several changes according to how players like it, even if they don't always agree with it themselves. This game is made for and played by the players, so it has to be how they want it to be, rather than focusing on how it's meant to be played. And of course you can think I'm fanboying about this game and the studio. And yes, that is true. Why do you think I make so many videos about this game and talking so nicely about Larian Studios? It's because I genuinely like them and their design philosophy. Because if I wouldn't, I would just talk about other games. But RPGs are my favorite genre, and I'm also a big fan of the Elder Scrolls and made some Skyrim videos as well. Because I also really love the design philosophy of Bethesda Game Studios. But also, to be honest, it also really helps that my Baldur's Gate 3 videos are mostly doing better. So that's why I also focus more on this game. But I like to change it up every now and then with another RPG. But it's also that I have much respect for Larian Studios as a, well, studio. They are not a greedy company that milks out their players with microtransaction or other pre-order bonuses and whatnot. What you see is what you get, a massive quality game with no bullshit, that really adjusts their games based on communications and feedback received during the early access period. And even if the early access of Baldur's Gate 3 is not finished, I've already played it for a ton of hours and I could easily say it's worth my money already. Because I play the early access more than some other AAA games that I paid for full price, and I think it's worth it. But of course I know the game is truly worth it when it fully releases, because of course I bought it for that experience, and I really can't wait for the full game to come out. And many of the hours made are also for these kind of videos. But I still enjoy it, and every time a new patch or panel from hell is announced, I'm generally excited to see what's coming next for this game. But it also really helps I'm a big fan of Dungeons & Dragons, where Baldur's Gate 3 is based on. I have a lot of knowledge for that game already and it's one of my favorite hobbies, so Baldur's Gate 3 feel it's also kind of made for me. The love of labor that is Divinity Original Sin 2, the design philosophy of Larian Studios, the respect I have for their quality and how they are not greedy, a big RPG where player choice really matters, a beautiful looking game, based on Dungeons & Dragons, and with much I already like the current state of the game in early access, of course it's going to be one of the best games of all time for me. But I also think it's not just me. If Divinity Original Sin 2 had such a massive success, I can't wait to see where Baldur's Gate 3 is going to end up when it fully releases. Like, the early access is already massively loved by many players. I mean, the Steam reviews are very positive, with 87% of the players satisfied. But also on other social media places, like the Baldur's Gate 3 subreddits almost have 100,000 members. And that's all for a game that's still in early access. So again, I can't wait to see where Baldur's Gate 3 is going to end up when it fully releases. I will think it will really surprise us all. Like, is it again going to take the spot of #1 PC game of that year? And will it become even a bigger success than DOS 2? Who knows? Just remember that DOS 2 sold over 1 million copies, and that's a lot for a CRPG in general. And the sales for Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access is already way higher than they anticipated, but of course that's always a very good sign. But those are just my opinions and guesses. But what is your opinion about Baldur's Gate 3? Do you think it will be one of the greatest games of all time? And what do you think about the game now, even though it's still in early access? Please share your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you like this video and want to see more Baldur's Gate 3 videos, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that, thank you all for watching, and thanks again for 2500 subscribers. And sorry for my voice, I had a bit of a cold, as you probably can hear it. But anyway, thanks again, and I will see you guys next time.
We spoke, but it commanded.